So Africa is now, so here we are starting to get, I said, here's what I want to have happen. I want you all to go out to your networks and we're going to host a Zoom and invite all the people you want. And we're going to tell this story and we're going to talk about kind of what it might mean to be a country manager and what has to be done and how we might measure, how we have to measure our success and so on, right?
Yep.
So there was something like 175 people on this call, right? We had Queen Mother Dolores Blakely give the opening prayer to that. I've had the blessing of knowing her for many years now, and we had a king of the Yoruba people be our keynote speaker. I had first seen the king speak at the United Nations, and was really impressed with him. You know, a young guy, very articulate, very passionate, well spoken, and that's articulate, right? So and I invited him, right? There is one African kingdom in the United States, and a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Right? The kingdom of Oyotunji has been in existence on the United States, down in the islands in South Carolina since 1970, and the king is King Adejuegbe Adefunmi II. Great guy, and I took my son. We actually visited and stayed for a few days down at the kingdom, and it was a great experience. I'd really encourage anyone in the audience, like if you're road tripping, if you're down in the South Carolina area, go visit the Kingdom of Oyotunji. It's like they just kind of dug it out of Africa and placed it there.
Popped it there.
Yeah,
like
it was really cool. So we started to get a lot more people interested in these roles and started to formalize the gatherings. And there has been some changes since then. So the Africans, and I feel like I'm kind of uniquely positioned. I can say the Africans, you know.
Right.
The Africans said, you know, we don't want to visit the tribes. It's like, no, we got to visit the tribes. That's what the ambassador said, you know, and it makes sense, right? Like, no, but Africa is more than tribes. There's caliphates, kingdoms, chiefdoms. You know, there's Egypt. You know, there's cultures. You know, and so I was like, well, what do you propose? And what came out of that discussion? And I mean, I'm a facilitator, right? One of the taglines of Project Peace Lights is "By Africans for Africa." You know, I'm just a guy who's facilitating.
Yeah, you're
right?
the broker in the deal.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of there, right?
Yep,
you know,
yep.
and so they say ethnic groups, and we want to do these days of discussion regionally in the countries. So there's, you know, 31 regions in Tanzania. We want to do 31 days of discussion. Like, okay, well, what's that look like? You got to kind of hire a person, you hire a region manager. So you're creating jobs, which is good. You're creating 31 jobs.
Yep.
And we have later come up to the conclusion that we want to include all the refugee camps too, right? Because certainly refugeeism is one of the threats to peace, right? Especially with with climate change and everything like that. It's not like that's going to go away. And it's not like they don't have anything to say about it, right?
Yep.
So there's 3 refugee camps in Tanzania. So you got 34 jobs you're going to create right there. And you got a country staff. You got people who are going to facilitate these days of discussion, you know, drive the conversation. These region managers, their job is from the day they're hired, 6 months later, they deliver their day of discussion. Right? That's their job. And if you're going to do 1 per week, you're going to hire 1 new region manager every week. If you're going to do 2 per month, every other week, you're hiring a new region manager. Wow. And you're logistically managing this like a Microsoft project, right?
Right.
And you're doing it the right way, and you're taking names, and you're checking off boxes of every ethnic group that you can that you have to come in contact with. And even like there's a statistically significant portion of Chinese people in Cameroon. Make sure they're covered. There's a lot of Hindu presence in West Africa. Make sure that population is not forgotten.